Yay. Great. Okay.
Yeah. No.
I can't hear you. Can you hear us now?
Oh,
Perfect. Sorry about that.
Goodness gracious.
Okay. Well, then we'll just mention again. My name is Emily. I am the wholesale sales manager here at Meadowbrook, and this is Amber.
And I am what we call a gourd beautician. So I do all of the finishing touches to everything.
Yes. And today we're going to be working on the snowman craft scene, and it looks like we're just having a little bit of a camera difficulty, and I'm going to fix that really quickly. Hopefully, it looks like it fixed itself. Apparently we're having some technical issues tonight. So we're very excited to craft this with you here today. Amber has made these as a special limited project, and she said they're very fun.
Yeah,
I'm very excited. So Amber, do you want to get us started going over the parts that we need and anything that they need to grab before we get started?
Okay, so the few things that we need before you get started, you'll just need a bowl for the water just to clean your brush out. If you don't want that right now, that's totally fine too. You'll need a plate just to put your paint on. That's also optional. These are all optional for you to grab. And then we have paper towels here. And then we also like to use baby wipes. Not everyone has baby wipes, and that's totally fine. But that is something that we like to use also. So I guess I will actually go ahead and get started going through all of the parts then. So first thing, I think in your bag, you had your larger bag. Within that larger bag, I believe was this base, your tree, your gourd should have a body that's a snowflake and a face of the snowman. And I think that's it in your big bag. But okay, so then in your smaller bag, you should have 2 Q-tips, a paintbrush, a hat. There are going to be 4 of these little containers. Now, the ones that are connected are going to be your paint. And then the ones that are not connected, that are separate, are going to be your glue. So make sure you don't get them mixed up.
The glue will be a very pure white, and the paint is a little bit of an off-white.
Yes. You should have your hat, which I don't know if I said that already before, but if I did, I apologize. You should have your scarf. Okay. This greenery, the berries, a nose, this paper wrapped wired stem, a North Pole sign, and then you should also have this snow in the little bag. And I think that's it. If anybody doesn't have any of these pieces, just feel free to comment in here or email, I think Dory, or you can call into the store and we will definitely get that to you.
And Dory is the one that emailed you this link. So if you just reply to that, she'll be able to help you and we'll get that to you.
Yes. Okay. Does anybody have any questions before we get started? No? Okay.
Great.
All right, let's get started. So the first thing that we're going to do is I'm going to we're going to glue one thing first. next.
Okay.
So you'll need a Q-tip, one of your glue containers, and then we're gonna glue this wired stem to the back of your North Pole sign. And that way it's good and dry by the time we get to it, and we can glue it right into the hole that's in our piece. So all you're gonna do is you're gonna take and open your glue, dip your Q-tip into the glue, and then all you're gonna do is you're gonna take the back of this sign and you're gonna draw a line basically with the glue on the very back. You don't need a whole lot, just like a little line, just like that. And then you'll stick your wire stem right on that glue, and then you'll just set it to the side. And it's up to you. In the original here, the sign is straight across, but if you want it at an angle, you can absolutely angle it.
And even if you put your line on there, you can still change it to be angled if you'd like, because this glue will dry clear.
Yes.
It just takes a little bit of time to get nice and stuck there. So we want to do that first. Good job.
Yes. Okay. And then you can set that to the side. We're not going to need the glue for a little bit yet. I want us to go ahead and start painting.
The fun part.
Yes. I'm just going to move all my stuff aside here when we needed them. So what I would do is I would take your paintbrush and just dip the very tip of it into water. That's just going to get it a little bit damp, so that the paint goes on just a little bit nicer. And then you open up your paint, and then I'm going to honestly just dump the whole container of paint out onto my plate. And then scrape it out with my paintbrush.
Okay.
Okay. That way I don't have to fight the little container. It's just right on my plate. And then I'm going to just go ahead and start. So what I'm going to do is you can start with the body or the head first. It does not matter. To hold them, it's going to be the same. I'm going to stick my fingers into the bottom of the hole, and that gives it, and like spread my fingers out, and that gives me like a good grip on it so that it doesn't like flop all over the place. It does kind of pinch your fingers just like a little bit, but we won't be holding it for too long, so hopefully it won't bother you too much. And then I just go and I'll paint. When you run over your face, if you want to try and keep a lot of that paint out of the face, what I would do is make sure there's not a lot of paint on your paintbrush. You want it pretty dry almost, and then you'll run over your face. That'll help get it so that it's not, it doesn't get in the cracks of the design there. And if it does, just take your paintbrush and kind of like dab it in there. And I needed a little bit more water.
I noticed the same thing. So if you're getting a bit of streaking in there, just add a little bit more water and do a little bit of a thinner coat. That just means we'll do a second or a third coat to get a nice finish, but that will help us eliminate any of those streaks and have a really nice finished product.
Yes. Because once you get those streaks on there, it's really hard to get them out.
I also find if the paint is a little bit more watered down when you're doing the fine detailing of the face, it makes it nicer. You don't get as many of those little globs in the crevices.
Yes. Okay.
Very nice.
So there's my first coat on my face. And then, like I said, it doesn't matter if you start with your face or your body, whichever one you wanted, whichever one you actually picked up first.
Yeah. And it's okay if it's a little splotchy. I don't know if you can tell, mine is a little splotchy because we will be doing more coats. I think it's more important that there's no globs of paint or big streaks.
Yes. And then I'm just going to move while that dries. And another thing with our paints, they actually dry pretty fast, but when we also water them down, they actually dry even faster. So by the time we are done painting the body here, we should be able to do the second coat onto the head and then just keep going back and forth until we're all finished painting.
Great.
But yeah, your paintbrush should move across the gourd like super soft. There should not have any resistance to it. It should be, yeah. And I also want to mention too, if you don't want to copy this original exactly, if you want to use like a different color, like if you don't want your snowman white, you are more than welcome to use your colors that you have at home and do whatever you want to this, because this is your project. So yeah, you can make it your own.
So Amber, I have a question.
Yeah.
I love to paint, but I'm not I'm a little sloppy, and I do have some paint in the crevices of my snowflake.
Okay.
What can I do to clean that up?
So what I would suggest is you can take your paintbrush and you can actually dab it into that design, and that should take some of it out. Another thing you could do is dip your paintbrush back into the water and try and like get some water down in there. Also, we don't have any toothpicks in our kit with us, but if you have a toothpick at home, which most people do, you can take a toothpick and run it down into the design as well. And that should help take some of that paint out.
Great, thank you. That helped.
Yeah. So there's my first coat on my body.
We have been so busy here on the farm with we just had a huge sale. We're having more sales this month as well. And I think Amber you're working on spring. You're in spring mode.
Yes, it's it almost feels silly because we just finished our huge rush of winter stuff, and now this whole entire week we've been doing spring. And it's just strange. It's not even Christmas yet, and we're working on bunnies but it's nice. So, all right. I'm gonna go ahead and start with my second coat on the piece that I worked on first. So whatever you did first, you should be good to go and do your second coat.
Okay.
And I do think we'll probably need a third coat on this, but that's okay. Well, what I'll do is I'll have us do the 2 coats on this, and then we're going to switch to making our hat to give this second coat like a really good time to dry. That way the third coat will be our final coat, and it'll be make it look great.
Awesome.
There's that one, and then we should be good with the other piece.
I see a lot of familiar names, but is there anyone this is their first project or introduction to Meadowbrook boards? I don't see anyone. Well, welcome back, everyone. I have been doing more of these Zoob classes recently, which I'm very excited about. And they have been more and more fun each one we do. So I'm very excited to take this one home and decorate with it.
Yes, this one is super cute. I like when we do the little scenes. They're fun to make in the class, but then the scenes are also fun to make in production too.
Now, do you do all of the steps? Because we're making one here today, but you would make 50 or 100 of these at once.
Yes.
Yeah. So do you do all of the steps like we're doing them? Or I know you don't paint, but yeah.
So sort of. So like Emily said, I don't normally do any of the painting. That is done in our spray booth. And so they will, the guys that run the spray booth and the dye station, they will get the colors on for us. And then once the colors are put onto them, what I would do is I would glue the head on. So basically everything that we're going to be doing today is other than the
you're a professional at that part.
Yes. Yes. So I
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, my name's Sandy Granberg, and I'm there a lot. In fact, we just got back the other day from one of the Christmas shows. But One thing I've never ever heard of is to put water in your paints. Never heard that before. And I've been going to your place like 5 years. And
Oh.
so maybe tell Kenny.
Oh,
or-
we will.
No. I was going to say, tell them, when their spiel comes up,
Mhm.
maybe tell them to at least put
Suggest
that. Yeah, suggest that. I've never heard it. Never in 5 years. I've never heard it.
That Kenny, we're gonna have to give him a hard
Mhm.
time tomorrow because he actually, as she was mentioned, the painting, he does the spraying and dyeing, so
He
he should
does.
know
I-
that. So
I love him to death. Him and Kwani. I do have a question though, if you don't
Yeah.
mind, please.
Uh-huh.
I'm so sorry. So you guys are doing this. Or one of you Ben's daughter,
No.
I am Ben's daughter-in-law.
daughter-in-law?
Yes,
How is he doing?
he's doing great. He
Oh, good.
has mostly retired and
I
watches
know.
all of the grandbabies, and another one is coming probably tonight, so they'll be up to 5.
Does
So my
mute have a line on it,
father-in-law,
or does it-
Congratulations.
my
if you
father-in-law,
unmute it, is it muted already?
Congratulations. Tell him
Yeah.
he wouldn't know me. He'll know my face, but yeah, say congratulations from one of these people.
Yeah. So my father-in-law is the founder of Meadowbrook Gourds, and it was kind of happened by accident. And now the children, he has 3 children. They all run it with Kenny is one of the owners now, and another lady named Dory. And Ben watches all of our children so that we can work together every day. And so a lot of Meadowbrook is family.
Yeah.
Amber is not
Mm-mm.
technically family, but she has made herself family, and
Yes.
her daughter is here often saying
Yes.
hello to everyone too.
Yep. And
It's
it
a great
definitely,
place to work.
it truly is. And it definitely is like, it's a big blessing to have a work that's like family. So,
Yeah,
It's
it
great.
really is.
okay. So,
My dad always said, if you don't like what you do, don't do it.
absolutely.
And that's the way to do it.
We have
Okay,
very low turnover here. And
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm sure
our
you do.
goal is to
Okay,
craft smiles, and we try to stay smiling when we're here too.
Yes.
that's wonderful. All right, I'm going to mute myself because I talk a lot.
Hey, it's really nice to talk to people other than
Yes.
just Amber. No offense, Amber.
No, none taking. It's definitely nice. Okay, so since we sat and talked for a little bit, I think they're actually really good and dry.
Oh, great.
Um,
So that worked out
so
great.
we can, yeah, it's perfect. So we'll go ahead and we'll do our final coat on
Okay.
these.
So what she was talking about is that we host seasonally a create your own here if you're local, where you can come and use our equipment and make your own gourd designs with the help of our team. Amber teaches classes there.
Mhm.
Occasionally I will be in the rooms, but it's really neat. And we have one more weekend. This weekend is our last Saturday is our last
Mhm.
session for winter, but then we'll have another one in the spring, usually with Easter being so early, it'll probably be early March. And those are really, really fun events if you are enjoying this process, and if you are local enough to make the trek here to do it. You can make as many projects as you want within your time frame.
Mhm.
And I heard from a little birdie that I think we're going to be offering maybe some more exclusive designs in the next year. So yeah, some like bigger pieces, and I know, very exciting. So we have over 300 designs in our catalog, and we try then on top of that to make all new things that you can make at our Create Your Owns and for all of our classes. So,
Mhm.
but if we can make more offerings, like doing larger pieces, that's always exciting.
Yes. Man, my paint's really getting into
Yeah.
the cracks there.
That's okay. It seems like if I just put a little bit of paint or water on the paintbrush, I'm getting it out pretty nicely. So
Yeah. I don't know. Do you think yours needs a third or fourth coat?
I do. I was just about to ask
Yeah.
if maybe I was being a bad painter today. But yeah, I think these,
No.
and that's the interesting thing about gourds are that they're a lot like wood,
Mhm.
but the porosity of them can vary depending on the gourd. And so one gourd might need 3 coats, and maybe the person that did this the first time needed 3 coats, but
Mhm.
these gourds maybe grew at a different time and need more.
Yes. I will say when when these gourds actually go through production, it's a little bit different because like I said, we spray them in our spray booth. So we don't have to do multiple coats per se because we're not actually hand painting them. They're actually being sprayed on. So there is like a little bit of difference. But yeah.
But you get the same
Yes.
result for the most part.
Yes.
By painting.
Yes.
And
for
we
sure.
do, you can't spray dye. So anything that we have in that we make that is dyed, is hand dyed
Mhm.
in a process much like this.
Yes, absolutely. We use paintbrushes and we just brush on that dye, just like we're doing with the paint. So I'm gonna let my paint stuff kind of sit to the side just because it definitely needs another coat. So what I would say is our last coat that we do, I'm gonna make sure this is good and dry, but our last coat that we do, I think because we're watering it down, maybe the last coat, try it where we don't water it down
As
so
much, yeah.
much.
Okay, perfect.
So we're gonna make our hat in the meantime.
Okay.
And to do so, you're gonna need your little greenery garland, your berry, and then your hat. So the first thing, we don't need any glue with this actually, and this is how we actually make them back in production, is these come in like a roll, and we will cut them in half like this length about, and then we'll take our berry, and we're actually going to lay that berry down onto the surface of the greenery here, and you're just gonna bend it right around that.
So
then
bend the paper wrapped wire around the
Mhm.
greenery.
Yes.
Okay.
Just like that. And the placement of that, it's however tall you want this berry. So if you want it super short, keep it real close to the greenery. And if you want it really long, then keep it away from the greenery, the berries away from it. And then to put it on the hat, you're gonna want to look at your hat and you'll see this little seam that you're gonna want to the back. Yeah, that's better. You're gonna want that to the back. And then your berry, as you can see here on this original, it kind of goes off to the side a little bit. So what I do is I take that berry and I actually have the hat facing so that the seam's on the back. And I actually put the berry onto the side of the hat as I put it around. So then you're just gonna put it around it, pinch it in the back, pull it, and then you're going to twist it. And then you can take your fingers and twist it again. Now, you will have quite a bit of this hanging. It's up to you how you want, like you can take it and like bring it around and twist it again in the front. Or if you have wire cutters at home, that's what I would use.
So like a heavy duty scissor.
Yeah. I would not suggest using your regular household scissors because it will dull the blade and ruin it just because it is wire. So I would use something heavy duty or just get wire cutters if you have them at home and cut them. If not, you can just keep twisting this around the hat too, and that would work.
Then just like tuck it in under the greenery here. Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. Okay. I think I might cut mine.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna cut mine too because it just gets too much, I think. If you hear that little squeaking, it's my chair. I keep hearing like this like squeaking, and I think it's a mouse, but it's not. It's just my chair. So I don't know if you can hear it, but I can. Okay. So I think this is pretty decently dry. So I'm gonna go ahead and do another coat, and then I'll see if we need another one after that. But like I said, try not to water down your paint as much this coat and see if that helps to cover it.
And if yours looks great and you don't feel like you need another coat, you feel free to leave it as it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we often get asked what classes will be coming up next, and our next Zoom class will be in February or in January. I don't have the date on me, but it will be a Valentine's Day penguin. It's a love penguin. It's super cute. And that is on our website now, that you can sign up for. And if you're local, we have 2 January on the farm classes. One to make an adorable new blue snowman, and a gingerbread house. So,
And the gingerbread house is super cute. Super cute. And the snowman is too. They're all super cute, but I really like the gingerbread house.
Are you going to teach that class, Amber?
Yes, yes. Oh yeah. I teach.
I have a gingerbread house.
You did?
I already
Yeah,
made- yeah, I have a gingerbread house and the campfire.
Oh,
Okay.
then you agree. They're super cute.
Oh my gracious, yes. In fact, my campfire I leave out all the time, even though they have green trees on the side. Because we go camping a lot, and I just leave it out all year round.
You
I
know,
love it.
a lot of people do. It's a really great versatile piece for that. And also really fun. That's something that we should do as a Zoom class. I think it would be a lot of
Yeah,
fun.
that would be fun. Okay. Yeah, I think that 4th coat actually really covered that well.
Well, you are much faster than me.
Oh.
How's everyone doing there on their 4th coats?
Good.
Okay.
I'm just gonna touch up any areas that I need.
I'm just going a little bit slower because I tend to get the paint in those little crevices.
I know. I will have to get a toothpick with mine and get it out.
Okay. Great. Are you having any success?
No, that's okay. I think I'm just gonna try and get it out with a toothpick then. Okay, so then that is it with the painting.
Great.
So once you are all done, well, I'm gonna try and use just the paintbrush and not have any paint on my. Once you are all done painting your gourds, that is all we have for the paint.
So you can close it up. Great. So what did you do?
So
Just in case anyone at home is.
So I cleaned out my brush, like watered it down. Not water it down, I cleaned it. And then I wiped my paintbrush onto the paper towel here. And now I am dabbing into the cracks here.
Oh, great.
So it took it right out.
It usually, the paint doesn't typically settle in the crevices as much as
No.
it is in this one. Great. Well, thank you. That's very helpful.
Yeah, that really helped.
Okay.
All right. So the next thing that I want us to do I'm just thinking. I think what I want us to do, because that needs to dry.
That 4th coat really got us.
I know. So paints we can put to the side, our paintbrush we can put to the side. We will still need our glue. So you'll need your 2 glue containers and you'll need your toothpick or cute cotton swab. Let's go ahead, as long as you guys' face is pretty dry. I think mine is like might be a little tacky, but if you hold it one finger on the top and one on the bottom, you should be okay to do this next part, even if it is still a little bit wet.
Okay.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna glue our little nose in. So you'll just need a little bit of glue. So you'll dip your Q-tip in. And then you're going to take your Q-tip and put a little bit of glue inside the nose.
In the nose hole?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
right into the hole there. And then you'll take your nose. Now, when you look at your nose, you'll notice some of them are more distinct than others, but they'll have like a little curve to them, and you'll want that curve to be pointing up.
Now, what if you're messy like me and I got glue on a little bit of my base? Should I just wipe that away with paper towel?
Yes, you can wipe it away with a paper towel. If it's super globby, I would wipe it. But if it's not super globby and you just see it a little bit around the nose, that is a-okay. This tacky glue will dry clear. It's just if it's super globby, it's gonna be shiny. So then you'll actually see it even though it's clear,
Okay.
if that makes sense.
We actually make these noses right here out of
Mhm.
clay in our
Yeah,
shop.
we do. Okay. So then I think yeah, I think it's dry.
So mine's dry.
Is yours dry?
Yeah.
Okay, mine's fairly dry. Okay, I'll have us go ahead and glue. We'll wait to glue the head on. I want us to glue everything down onto our base here, so that way it's
Okay.
sitting, and that way we don't have to worry. So tacky glue takes about like 15 to 30 minutes to actually tack up and to be dry. And so that's why I'm like hesitating on like, what should we do next? What should we do? Just because I don't want us to move the snowman around after gluing it together and it just kind of fall apart. So I want you to grab your base.
Okay.
When you grab your base, I want you to look at it. There is a right and a wrong side to it, meaning the right side is that you're going to want facing up is the side that has the hole drilled in it.
Okay.
Okay. And that hole is drilled in there for this sign. So
Okay.
when you place your base down, you want that hole. Now, depends on where you want your sign. In the original here, it is in like right in front of the tree here. So it just depends on where you want everything placed to where you want your base to sit. So what I would do is I would take your body of your snowman and your tree and just kind of place it onto the base. That way you can see where you want that North Pole sign to be. And then once you have it placed, what I would do is have that base sitting in front of you, and then I would just take these and set them right off. Same with the little sign. So that way you know, and don't move the base. So then what we're gonna do is to get these glued down and the sign, and then to also get this snow onto the bottom. And what we're gonna do is I'm gonna have you take probably an entire container of glue. Most like, yeah, I'm gonna have you take the entire container of glue, and you're going to use your Q-tip, and you're going to rub the glue on the entire bottom of this or surface of this wood cookie. So entire bottle container of glue right onto the surface here.
Like you're buttering bread.
Yes.
Icing a cake.
Yes. And if you need more, absolutely use the second container, but don't use the entire thing because we still need to glue the head on and glue the hat on to your little snowman. So go ahead and put the glue, and I would work semi-fast with this just because with it being a thinner coat, it's going to dry a little bit faster than it would if we were gluing on like a head.
Mm-hmm. Now, should I stay in kind of the circular part of the cutout of wood, or can I go on the bark as well?
Yeah, you can absolutely go on the bark as well. So the reason we are putting the glue on the bottom, on the entire surface of this, here, I'll move my tree so you can see, on the entire surface of this is so that we can glue everything down and then also be able to sprinkle the little snow. So wherever you want that snow to pretty much be at on the bottom here, that's where you're going to want your glue. So if you want the glue to be like out on the bark a little bit, then yeah, I would absolutely put the glue out there. And you just want to be mindful of where that hole is, because when you're rubbing this with glue, you're gonna get some of the glue in the hole, which is great because you want to be able to glue that sign down. But you also want to just make sure that you know where that hole is then.
Don't cover the hole. You got it.
Yes. I did have to open my second container a little bit
Okay.
of glue to get the rest of the little seam in the bottom here.
And again, this, it won't look like this in the final product because it will dry clear and you'll have
Yes.
snow on top.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. So then once you get all this,
So let me
Um,
show like the coating.
Mhm.
A little, doesn't, it's not super even, but it's all coated.
so then you'll just place all your things, which with tacky glue, what makes this really nice is even if you place these and you don't like where they're placed, you can pick them up and replace them. So I will place mine here and then show you. And you can have the tree either on the left or the right side and vice versa with your snowman. It's just however you want it there. I think I did it exactly. Yeah, I did exactly what this sample is there. Okay, so then I just give it a little bit of a push to get it so it's secure, and I have the little sign in there. Now, what I will say with that sign, as everybody's like putting their pieces on, you are more than welcome. If you have wire cutters, again, all that is a paper wrapped wired stem. If you want the sign to be shorter like this here, absolutely, you can go ahead and just cut it. I like it though. I like that it's a little taller,
Me too.
just so it's a little different, and yeah. So then once you get those down, I want you to go ahead and sprinkle your snow. And what I'm going to do is, this is like almost staticky, and so you can dump it out and then like sprinkle it on, but I think I'm going to leave it in the container and just dump it.
Just sprinkle it on. So we icing to the cake and now we're adding the sprinkles.
Yep. Okay. And I did use my entire bucket. You shouldn't have to really like push the snow down, but if you want to, just to secure it a little bit, you can. But I don't think it really needs.
Just gonna move it around with your finger.
Yep. If it accidentally poured the whole way out, you can absolutely just move
Okay,
it around with your finger.
great. Oh, it looks cute. A little bit of snow.
Okay. How'd everybody do with that?
Are we looking good? Give them a minute. Looks like they're still working.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll give you guys a minute here so that I can. And if we are going too fast or too slow, feel free to absolutely say something and we can speed it up or slow it down. Then, after you get that all glued down, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to glue our head to our body.
Okay.
So you'll need a Q-tip again. And I'm just going to flip my head upside down. And this little flat surface on the bottom, I'm going to put a decent amount of glue around the entire circle.
And this, we don't have to worry about it necessarily being messy. It's more about making sure the head stays on.
Yes.
So you can definitely have it a little bit globby because the scarf will cover up anything.
Yes. And I would put a decent amount of thickness of that glue.
Okay.
If you can see that. And then to place the head onto the body, I don't know why I got blurry again.
Apologize. We're just not having luck today with our technical items here.
You may hold your.
Yes, please. Did that help?
Yes.
Okay. Are we still straight?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
Yes. Okay. Hopefully we'll stay.
Apologize for that. Okay.
All right. So then to put your head onto your body, all I do is I take the nose and line it up with the center of the star in the little.
If you want him to be looking a certain way, you certainly
Yeah.
can.
Absolutely, you can have him looking off to the side. Just stick them right
Easy
there.
enough.
Push them down a little bit, and then you're gonna take your hat, and I think I'm gonna have you put your glue onto the actual top of the snowman, the head.
Okay.
So you're just gonna take a glob of glue and rub it on the top, just
Nice.
like you did the base.
Okay.
But what I would make sure is you get the entire surface of the head, and I would make it a little thicker than you did the when you did the snow. Okay.
So we're giving it a little toupee and then we'll cover it up.
Yeah. And you'll just take your hat, and now if you still want that berry off to the side, you'll just line that berry up to the side of the hat or the head and push it down. And there we go. Just like that. Now, mine's silly because it has that, but I'm gonna trim it.
And just be careful because I just pushed my head off. It will still take a while to tack up, but you can stick it back.
Yes, for sure. So then the last thing that we really need to do is, yes, we do need to cut that.
Well, I know you need them for the scarf.
Oh, yes, that too. Maybe I should use the ones you're using.
I'm afraid to do it with my head, so I'm gonna wait.
Oh,
My head just needs some help. You see, you're a pro. I'm like,
so yeah, so you just trim that right off like that, and then it'll be like that. So with this scarf, we can't tie it just yet, but I will still explain to you how we tie them. There's really no rhyme or reason or a special way of how we tie this scarf. What I normally do though is I will take it and bend it in half like this, and then I will wrap it around the neck of the gourd here, and then I will then, so I can show you from here. So that pretend this is the neck of the gourd. I have my left side going over the right, and then I'll bring that down and under and pull it, and that way it lays pretty nicely down in front, which it's not going to because it's not on.
there
board,
is a
but-
video of a how-to video of how we do scarves on our YouTube page, and I'll make sure that Dory sends that along with this recording tomorrow.
Mhm. But does anybody have any other questions? Because that is the last step, is to put the scarf on. But like I said, there's not much. We can't do that yet because it's not dry yet. But and I will say we do use the tacky glue to glue heads on like this back in production. So I know some people that do come to our Create Your Owns. A lot of people use hot glue to glue most of the pieces together. If you come to like our Create Your Owns, it's best if you use hot glue to glue the head on and the hat. But like any noses or like a design that goes into the actual gourd, you're gonna want to use the tacky glue because hot glue it just isn't nice.
Make quite the mess if you
Yes.
didn't get it quite right.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful. So this is, I can't wait to take it home and
know.
decorate with it once it dries. I think my daughter will love it.
Yes.
Does anyone have any questions or thoughts for us as you're finishing up your projects? We'd love to see them too when you get them
Yes.
to that point.
Okay, this is Sandy again. I figure
Hi.
I'm gonna talk to you if nobody else does.
Go for it.
Okay, so when I make my snowmen, and I've made a bunch of them. In fact, the two that I made
There.
a couple of weeks ago is for gifts. So
Mhm.
when I make my snowmen, instead of worrying about them being streaky, Hey,
Here,
Bob,
here's
can you turn your,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you. When I make my, my snowman, I tap the last coat on. It's a little thick, but I tap the last coat on so that you can't tell if there's any streaks.
Yeah.
And it
that's
kind of
what
looks like snow anyway.
Yeah,
Um,
that's a very good idea.
And then what we do is use your sponges and then put a little bit of silver on it
Oh, that's a good
because
idea too.
yeah, it kind of looks like it looks like
like-
sparkly snow.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
can even use really, really light blue because you know blue water is blue anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not really blue, but you know what I mean. And
Uh-huh.
if you use just a little teeny bit of blue in with your silver, it'll really pop. Just to let you know.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys do that, but for me, I don't care for the cream color. I like the whites much better. And so white and silver go very, very well together.
They sure do. Yeah. And that's another thing to note, and that I see a question here about Zoom classes for after January. We are still in the process of developing those. And what we're trying to do for next year to improve on our classes is to offer a bit more technique along with the painting and assembly. So just like you said a moment ago, you know, doing more sponging and different technique that could add texture throughout, so we're taking our time and setting up our classes so that they are going to be really nice pieces that you will love to either use in your home or gift, and hopefully learn a new technique in the process.
Yeah.
So those will release most likely in January. We'll release new classes beyond the Valentine's Day penguin,
Yes.
which I believe may have some sponging. I'm not quite sure on that,
The
but
penguin, I don't think it does,
Oh, it doesn't?
but the snowman does.
oh, okay, perfect.
Yes, the snowman has like a sponging, the blue is like a sponging technique, so they will get to, yeah, so.
Yeah, so we're very excited for next
Mhm.
year and hopefully improving our Zooms, and we'll be back in our video room soon. Our video room is
Yes.
currently being used to house all of our new ideas for next year. So,
Yeah.
but next year we'll be happy to join you again in Zoom, hopefully in our pretty video room rather than the gift shop. Are there any other questions? Well, great. Well, thank you all so much for joining us. I always have so much fun with you all. If you have questions after this class, Dory will be sending out this recording tomorrow at some point, and her email address that you have already received, you can email that. You can also message us on Facebook or call. I answer a lot of the Facebook messages, and it's between me and Dory, so you'll get one of us that'll be knowledgeable about the project, and if you call, I answer most of the phone calls. So feel free to reach out, and if you also have any ideas for classes or feedback, we would love to hear those too, especially given that we're planning that stuff right now. If we don't see you at any of our events, we hope you have a very Merry Christmas, and we'll see you soon.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.